£65, gone, just like that.
I drove down a bus lane for 30 seconds and got a camera fine in the post 2 weeks later.
30 seconds, £65.
Please, don't remind me.
That is the most London story I have ever heard.
Getting around this city will cost you one way or another, I'm telling you.
It really will. And that is exactly what we're talking about today. Hello, everyone, and welcome to English for Everyone. I'm Esther, and I'm so happy you're here with us today.
And I'm Jimmy. Hi, everyone. It's great to be here. Whether you're listening on your commute, at home, or maybe at the gym, welcome.
Yes, wherever you are in the world, thank you for joining us. So, for anyone who is new to our podcast, let me explain what we do here. Jimmy and I just have real, natural conversations in English about everyday topics to help you improve your listening skills and pick up vocabulary that real people actually use.
That's right. We don't use complicated language or overly formal English. We just talk like two friends having a chat, and hopefully, the more you listen, the more confident your English becomes.
Exactly. And today's topic is one that I think is very relatable, no matter where you live in the world. We're talking about how we get around our city, London, England.
Transport, getting from A to B, it sounds simple, but honestly, in London, it's a whole conversation on its own.
It really is, right? Shall we get into it?
Let's do it.
So, Jimmy, let's start with you. How do you usually get around London?
Right, so I drive. I have an SUV car, and most of the time I drive to where I need to go.
Okay, so you're a driver, and how is that? Because I have to say, the thought of driving in London genuinely stresses me out.
You know what? It does take some getting used to. The roads in central London, especially, they're quite narrow, quite busy, and there are a lot of rules traffic lights, bus lanes, pedestrian crossings.
And cyclists appearing from nowhere.
Yes, cyclists, yes. You always have to be very aware. But honestly, once you know the roads, it's fine. And there's something quite freeing about having your own car. You can go exactly where you want, when you want. No waiting.
I get that. That does sound nice, but what about the congestion charge? Because I know that's something a lot of people don't realize about driving in London.
Good point. So, for people who don't know, in central London, there's something called the congestion charge. It's a fee that you pay if you drive into a certain zone in the city centre during the day. It's to reduce traffic, basically. And it's not cheap. It's around £15 a day, I think.
£15 just to drive into the centre every day.
Every day, yes. So if you're driving into central London regularly, it adds up very quickly.
That's actually one of the reasons I've never bothered learning to drive, if I'm honest. Well, that and public transport in London is genuinely excellent. Like, I don't feel like I'm missing out.
That's fair. London's public transport is probably one of the best in the world, actually.
It really is. So I use the tube, buses, and sometimes the overground trains, and it works really well for me.
Tell me about the tube, because I know some people find it quite intimidating at first, especially visitors to London.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So the tube, the London Underground, is basically a network of underground trains that runs all across London. There are lots of different lines, and each one has its own colour on the map. So, for example, the Central line is red, the Northern line is black, the Jubilee line is silver.
And you just find the right coloured line and follow it?
Basically, yes. Once you understand the map, it's actually very logical. You look at where you are, you look at where you want to go, and you find the line that connects them. And if you need to change lines, you just follow the signs inside the station. They're very clear.
And how do you pay? Because I know it's not like the old days where you had to buy a paper ticket every time.
Right, so most people use either an Oyster card or contactless payment. An Oyster card is a blue plastic card that you top up with money, and then you just tap it on the reader when you enter and exit the station. Or, and this is what I usually do, you can just use your bank card or your phone directly. Tap in, tap out, super easy.
That is genuinely very convenient.
It is. And the system automatically calculates the cheapest fare for you at the end of the day, so you don't have to worry about overpaying.
Okay, I did not know that. See, I feel like I'm learning things even though I live here.
That's what happens when you just drive everywhere, Jimmy. You miss out on all of this.
Fair enough. What about buses? Do you use those too?
All the time. I love the bus, actually. It's slower than the tube, but there's something really lovely about being above ground and watching the city go past, especially on the top deck of a double-decker bus.
The iconic red London bus.
The iconic red London bus, yes, if you've ever seen pictures of London, you've probably seen them. They're double-decker, 2 floors and bright red, and sitting on the top floor at the front, honestly, best views of the city.
I have to say, even as someone who drives, I've done that a few times as a tourist in my own city, and it's brilliant.
It's brilliant, right? It's like a free sightseeing tour. But buses can be slow in traffic, which is the downside. Sometimes I'll be on a bus and I'll think, okay, I could actually walk this faster.
And do you walk much?
I walk a lot, actually. London is surprisingly walkable in many areas. And for me, especially training for the London Marathon, I like to get my steps in. I'll often walk between 1 or 2 stops rather than taking the tube.
You're training for the marathon at the moment, aren't you?
I am 26 miles through London. It's intense, but I love it. And honestly, walking around the city is part of my training. I'll do a long run on the weekend through Greenwich Park or along the South Bank, and it's a beautiful way to see London.
That does sound amazing. I keep saying I'll start running, but
But you get in your SUV instead.
pretty much, yes, maybe one day.
What's been your most memorable experience getting around London, good or bad?
Oh, good question. Okay, so this was a few years ago. I was driving to an event in East London and I didn't realize that the road I was using had been turned into a bus lane. So I drove down it and, of course, I got a fine in the post a few weeks later.
Oh no.
It was a camera fine. You know, in London, there are cameras everywhere monitoring bus lanes and congestion zones, and I wasn't paying attention. It was an expensive lesson.
How much was the fine?
I think it was about £65, which it wasn't catastrophic, but it was annoying, very annoying, because I only drove down that road for maybe 30 seconds.
£65 for 30 seconds. That hurts.
It really does. So, lesson learned, always check the road markings. What about you?
Mine is much more funny, I think. So, this was when I was quite new to using the tube on my own as a teenager, and I got on the wrong line. I thought I was going northbound, but I'd actually gone southbound, and I didn't realize for about 4 stops.
4 stops.
4 stops in completely the wrong direction, and I came out of the station and I just didn't recognize anything around me. I had to ring my mum, and she was just like, Esther, how?
That is very relatable. I think everyone who uses the tube has done that at least once.
I think so, and now I always double check which platform, which direction, always.
So, if someone is visiting London for the first time, maybe one of our listeners is planning a trip, what would be your top advice for getting around?
Okay, so first, get an Oyster card or just use your contactless bank card. Don't buy paper tickets, it's more expensive and less convenient. Second, download a transport app. I use the TfL Go app, which is made by Transport for London. It shows you live departures, delays, the best route, everything.
That's a great tip, and I would say don't be afraid to ask for help. London is a big, busy city, but Londoners are generally quite helpful if you ask nicely. Station staff, especially, they deal with lost tourists every single day. They won't judge you.
Absolutely, and honestly, walk more than you think you need to. Sometimes places that look far apart on the map are actually a 10 or 15-minute walk, and walking is free and you see so much more of the city.
I'll take that advice myself, actually.
Please do, Jimmy.
All right, I think that's our episode for today. What a great conversation.
It really was. I feel like we could talk about this for another hour. Honestly, there's so much more to say. Cycling lanes, the Elizabeth line, riverboats on the Thames.
Maybe a part two?
Definitely a part two, but for today, thank you so much for listening, everyone. I hope this conversation was useful for your English and maybe gave you a little glimpse into life in London.
Yes, thank you for spending this time with us. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe so you don't miss our next one. And we'd love to hear from you in the comments. How do you get around your city? Do you drive, use public transport, cycle, walk? Tell us below.
We read every comment, so please do say hello. All right, take care, everyone.
See you in the next episode. Bye for now.
Bye.